Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Sunday, September 10th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with AEW Collision broadcast last night on TNT live from the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland. The main event was a semifinal match in the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament in which Samoa Joe defeated Penta El Zero Miedo. In the night's other semifinal match, Roderick Strong beat Darby Allin. Prior to the match starting, Allin was attacked in the entrance area by Luchasaurus. Joe and Strong are now set to meet in the finals of the Eliminator Tournament next week, with the winner getting a shot at AEW World Champion MJF. Jade Cargill made her return to AEW TV for the first time since losing the TBS title to Chris Statlander. Statlander had retained her title against Robin Renegade and was a victim of a post-match attack by both Renegade sisters when Cargill ran in and chased them off. However, Cargill then laid Statlander out herself.
Statlander is in deep trouble! Jade Cargill isn't back for fun and games. She's back for business, and she's back for her championship.
In the opener, Jon Moxley successfully defended the International Championship against Action Andretti. During a promo segment, Bryan Danielson issued a challenge to NJPW World TV Champion Zack Sabre Jr. for the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view. Afterward, he was attacked by Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
Oh my God! Come on!
Big Bill didn't want to hear anymore. Oh, wait a second.
Wait a minute. Did Big Bill go rogue? No! Starks wants to be the one to put it on. Come on, man!
I think he's entitled to his pound of flesh.
Wait a minute, Moxley! BCC coming together! Uh-oh! And no! Big Bill, the 7-footer extending the boot!
Moxley's already fought tonight. Not a good idea to charge and attack a monster like
Look at this!
Oh!
In other results, Rey Fenix beat Angelico, and the Guns and Juice Robinson defeated Gravity, Aerostar, and Dio Stallion for Mundo. Jay White was originally intended to team with the Guns and Robinson, but missed the show for what was described as personal reasons. In ratings news, SmackDown overnight numbers are in, with Spoiler TV reporting that Friday night's episode brought in 1.969 million viewers to Fox, a more than 10% drop from the previous week's overnight number of 2.28 million. The overnight rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was reported as 0.47, also down from the previous week. Full ratings figures for SmackDown are expected later this week. Nassau Coliseum on Long Island hosted its first WWE house show in nearly 5 years last night under the title of Saturday night's main event. In the main event, Cody Rhodes defeated Finn Balor in a street fight. In the semi-main, AJ Styles defeated Solo Sikoa. The opener saw LA Knight defeat Austin Theory. In other results, the LWO beat Hit Row, Omos topped Johnny Gargano, Ricochet beat Karrion Kross, and Charlotte Flair went over Asuka. Flair and Asuka appeared in the main event at the last WWE house show at the Nassau Coliseum in 2018, a triple threat also involving Becky Lynch. The company also presented 2 episodes of Monday Night Raw there in 2019. In health-related news, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was hospitalized for emergency surgery Friday evening, according to a statement released by his wife, Deborah. Duggan was taken to the hospital from a public appearance he was making with the Firefighters Association in his hometown of Glen Falls, New York, where he was being honored with an award. Deborah explained that her husband's surgery went well, but it was not made known what the nature of the medical emergency was. Duggan has recently battled prostate cancer. Turning to Japan, Stardom's 5-star Grand Prix tournament continued on Saturday inside Tokyo's Korakuen Hall. Results from the Red Stars block saw Syuri defeat Saya Kamitani by injury forfeit, Hazuki pinned Starlight Kid, and Suzu Suzuki defeated Tam Nakano. While over in the Blue Stars block, Sayori Ano topped Mirai, and in the main event of the show, Julia defeated Maika. Natsuko Tora leads the Red Stars block with 12 points, while Julia leads the Blue Stars block with 9. Also during the show, Maika, Suzu Suzuki, and Megan Bain challenged Julia, Mai Sakurai, and Thekla for the latter's Artist of Stardom 6-Woman Tag Team Championship. New Japan Pro Wrestling announced that both Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Oleg Boltin have been pulled from this weekend's events, which are part of the company's current Road to Destruction tour. In a press release issued yesterday, New Japan revealed that Boltin is dealing with an infection in his left wrist, while Kanemaru suffered a knee injury during Saturday's show. Both men are off shows through Monday, and their conditions will be reevaluated next week. New Japan's show on Saturday was the company's second in 2 days inside Tokyo's Korakuen Hall. Main matches saw NJPW World Television Champion Zack Sabre Jr. repel the challenge of veteran Satoshi Kojima, submitting Kojima with an armbar to retain the championship for the 14th time. Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Tomohiro Ishii also retained the never openweight 6-man tag team title by defeating Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Togi Makabe, and Tiger Mask. And the main event saw the United Empire faction win an elimination 10-man tag team match over the LIJ stable, with Jeff Cobb last eliminating Tetsuya Naito to become the last man standing for either side. The DDT promotion ran their Big Bang 2023 show inside the Ota Ward General Gymnasium in Ota City on Saturday. All Elite Wrestling's Konosuke Takeshita returned to the company he got his start in, wrestling in the semi-main event, teaming with Daisuke Sasaki in a losing effort against Yuki Ueno and Mao. The main event of the card saw Chris Brooks make his first defense of the KO&D Openweight title, pinning Shigehiro Irie in 27 minutes and 36 seconds. Other selected results saw Minoru Fujita and Kanon upend Yuji Hino and Makoto Oishi to win the KO&D 6-man tag team title. Other selected results saw Minoru Fujita and Kanon upend Yuji Hino and Makoto Oishi to win the KO&D 6-man tag team title. DDT Extreme Champion Kazuki Harada added the Iron Man Heavy Metal title to his collection by defeating Naruki Doi, and in a match for both the All Japan 6-man and KO&D 6-man tag team titles, Yukio Sakaguchi, Saki Akai, and Hideki Okatani defeated Yuki Miyamoto, Isami Kodaka, and Ram Kaichou. And finally, in some unfortunate news, Brett Woyan, best known in the 1980s and early 90s as wrestler Brett Sawyer, passed away last Friday at the age of 63, as was confirmed yesterday on social media by longtime friend Bobby Fulton. The younger brother of Bruce Woyan, aka Buzz Sawyer, Brett was trained for the business by his brother and Ricky Steamboat and debuted in 1976 at the age of 16. He would often tag team with his more well-known brother, and the two held the national tag team title in Georgia Championship Wrestling, as well as the Pacific Northwest tag team title. A prolific tag team wrestler, Brett Sawyer also held the Pacific Northwest titles with Tom Pritchard, Rocky Johnson, and Steve Pardee, the Florida tag team title with Jim Backlund, and the Southwest tag team title with Chicky Starr. Additionally, he was a Georgia national champion and Central States heavyweight champion. In the late 80s and early 90s, Sawyer also worked as a trainer, with one of his students being Ken Shamrock. After making several enhancement appearances for WCW in the early 90s, he slowed down his in-ring career and retired completely in 1998. Sawyer is survived by a wife and 2 children. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, Just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.